Finally, I'm sitting down to record this video, birth story. It's not going to be the most glamorous video, but it's going to be long. I'll try to keep it short as much as possible. So grab a snack, have a seat, let's start. It's story time. More specifically, it's birth story time. Let's start. Okay, so just to give you a background, I am that girl who is scared of pregnancy and giving birth and all the hoo-ha around it. From the moment I got pregnant, I did not think about giving birth, morning sickness, being pregnant, how everything's gonna roll out. I just took everything one day at a time because the entire process freaks me out. Having said that, I did went through the entire pregnancy very good, and I did deliver my baby very well as well. I have to say, entire experience was a very positive experience for me, so it's going to be a positive birth story. So if you're scared of the entire process, or if you're not sure all that, I think it's a good video for you to watch, because it's not gonna freak you out. It's gonna comfort you for sure. Now, as you know, we live in Paris, me and Antoine. However, our families do not live here. My family is in Colombo and his family is in south of France, Toulon to be exact. During the pregnancy, when we were deciding where to give birth, we both agreed that we wanted to give birth in around family, around a support system. Because we are living through a pandemic. My parents were not able to fly here, and my mom was not able to stay with me during the pregnancy or for my labor in Paris. And I did not want to go back to Sri Lanka to give birth, because now it is home for me here, and Antoine was not able to go there as well. So the next best option was going down to south, which is exactly what we did. It was a really good option for us because we were surrounded by a family, and we were staying at Antoine's parents' place, and yeah. So once we decided that, we had to select the hospital, which we selected St. Mus in Toulon. And in April itself, we made an appointment. We visited the hospital, and we transferred the files, and everything was set from there. Fast forward to June. On the 11th of June, we traveled down to south, and I was going to stay there from that day onwards until I give birth. So during my third trimester, I was still quite active. I was walking around. On top of that, Antoine's parents were living just next to they still are. They live just next to the sea, so we were able to just walk to this beach in like 2 minutes. So we used to go to the beach all the time, go in the sea, so there was no problem. So we were fairly active. I was due 23rd of July. However, I always had this feeling that I would give birth on the 7th. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I was telling all my friends, okay, her birthday was on the 7th, and I even marked my calendar like in June itself. Now, fast forward to 6th of July. On the 6th of July, I had an appointment at the hair salon for a haircut, and once we had the haircut, one of Antoine's friends, one of our friends visited us in South, so we went to the beach with him, and I went into the ocean. It was quite cold, and we had a bath. It was normal because we were regularly going to the sea. So we had a bath, and then we had plans for a date night, which we did. After a long time, we went to a restaurant and had dinner. We had ice cream, walked along the beach, all that, and we came home around 9:30, 10-ish, and then we went directly to bed. During that night, around 2 o'clock itself, I was not feeling comfortable. I feel like I wanted to pee a lot, so it was normal because during the pregnancy, as you know, we pee a lot. I think I stayed in the toilet around like 30 minutes because I was like peeing, and I don't feel like it was not stopping. It was like on and off peeing, so I thought instead of going back and forth to the bed, I will stay in the toilet. So I was sitting there and waiting for like half an hour ish. Then came back to bed, slept, no problem. Had felt a little bit of cramping, but I thought it was normal. Maybe it was contractions, maybe it was Braxton Hip contractions, I don't know. Either one of them, it was normal during the pregnancy, so I didn't think of anything. Then woke up around 6, 7. I was really, my tummy was cramping up a lot, so I thought, okay, this is definitely contractions. And this was the first time I was actually feeling contractions, because before I was feeling Braxton Hicks contractions only. So this was during my entire pregnancy. This was the first time I was feeling contractions itself as well. I downloaded an app to measure the contractions, because if you're having contractions every 1 minute, contractions every 5 minutes apart, then it's time to go to the hospital. So I knew this too. So what I did was I downloaded this app and I started timing my contractions. Was not 5 minutes apart, it was not for 1 minute, it was like 30 seconds, 20 seconds, like painful contractions, and it was like 10 minutes apart, 20 minutes apart, it was here and there. So Antoine woke up and he was like asking what's up, what's happening and all that, and I said, don't worry, I think I'm having contractions, but it's normal to have contractions. Now I'm 2.5 weeks before my due date, so this is the time, I guess, the contractions are starting. He was planned to go for a bike during that morning, so I said, okay, you go ahead, go bike and come, there's no problem. I don't think I'm in labor at all. It's just like 2.5 weeks early, and this is the first time I'm feeling contractions, so I don't think this is labor. But I did pee a lot. I don't know what happened, maybe something, but anyway, go ahead. When you come back, we'll see. And as usual, I went on YouTube to see when to go to the hospital, what exactly are the signs to go before you go to the hospital, because I heard a lot of stories, people go to the hospital before it's labor when it's not labor at all. So I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to make sure that I'm actually in labor before I actually go to the hospital. So during one of that YouTube videos, it says when your water breaks, it's not like in movies. You don't just pee out in, like, your water doesn't break when you're walking around and all that. Sometimes, of course, that happens, but there is also times that it comes as if it's pee. It comes out several times. It's not as one go. So this was exactly what happened to me last night, right? So I think that means my water might have broken. Anyway, I'm having contractions as well, so let me time. Around 9:30ish, I was timing my contractions, and it was 10 minutes, 11 minutes apart, and I had contractions for 45 seconds and to 1 minute. So everything was packed. His parents already put all our luggage, like all our hospital bags, in the car. We were about to leave and Antoine came back. So it was me and Antoine. We left to the hospital around 10 o'clock-ish. And even on the way, I was having contractions, but even on the way, I was sure that I was not giving birth today. Don't worry. We'll just go and see, make sure it is not labor, and then we'll come back. Now, around 11 o'clock, we reached the hospital, and by that time, the contractions were I was feeling really like a lot of, it was painful, basically. It was like contractions, and it was 6 minutes apart-ish. They put me into a machine to measure the contractions, to measure the heartbeat of the baby, everything. At the same time, they said, okay, we need to check if it was your water broke or not last night. And they confirmed that my water has broken last night. And they said, okay, you're gonna stay in because you need to give birth within 24 hours of water break because of risk of infections. To my surprise, it was my water and it was the actual contractions for labor. By that time, I think I was 2 centimeters dilated, and my contractions were not regular, and it was like far apart for us to go for labor. So at that point we had to wait until it is 10 centimeters dilated, and my contractions were, I don't know, regular, right? But the contractions were really painful. Obviously those are contractions, it's gonna be painful. I was telling the midwife that, okay, it's really bad, I don't feel good, is there any way that we can do something about it? I was not feeling fit. I was not fit at all at that time. My legs were shaking and the contractions were pretty powerful. So what she said is, okay, have a 5 minutes warm shower, maybe that might help. And also if you want to like want to be more dilated, have a walk. So that's exactly what I did. I had like 5 minutes shower. I waited, actually I wanted to walk, I couldn't, so I was shaking, so I was just walking around the room. Again, had a 5 minutes shower. Then by that time Antoine got me like a muffin and donuts, all that, and I just started eating. And he said, okay, let's have a walk, let's try to go have a walk. But I was not really feeling good to walk at all, but nevertheless I did. We went out of the room, we were walking, and every time I get contractions I was like holding him, I was bending down holding a wall, and we were just out in the open, and I didn't care about who's watching, what's happening at all. I was like really feeling massive pain. That's all. I was like, I didn't know where we went, I don't remember anything at all. I just remember severe pain of contractions. Came back to the room. I think the walk lasted felt like 5 hours, but I think like it was half an hour maybe. I think I waited another, maybe I had another 5 minutes warm shower. The warm showers were really helping, so I was like really going there, and I could hold on to my contractions pretty well in the shower. It was less painful, I would say. So I was doing that, and I came back to the room. I was on the bed, and I told Antoine, okay, tell the nurse I'm really not feeling good. Can we check if I was properly dilated, if I was dilated enough to go? I was not. I was only dilated 4 centimeters by that time. And then I asked, can I have the epidural? And they said, okay, you can have the epidural now. So they took me to the delivery room itself to get prepared to give me the epidural. So one thing before, I need to rewind. When we made the appointment for the hospital, we had to have an appointment with the anesthesia, who is the one who is authorizing the epidural over here, and he had to check my conditions, etc. So we did an entire appointment with the anesthesia before. Okay, now fast forward to here. So we went to the delivery room and they gave me the epidural. I heard so many dreadful things about like the needle is like this big, it's so hard, it's going to be really crazy, etc, etc. But for me, epidural was a God's given. Oh my God, at that time my contractions were really bad, so I was really begging for the epidural, and they did give me the epidural, and it was not really, it didn't hurt at all. For me it was quite easy, and as soon as they gave me the epidural, the levels went up, and I didn't feel the pain of contractions. So I knew there were contractions coming in and out, but I mean, because of the machines, but I didn't feel the pain as much. I mean, they can adjust the level of the epidural, so I did feel there was a contraction coming in, but the pain was much less, right? So it was perfect. After this, the entire experience was really good. Once I got the epidural, they check how much I'm dilated. I was 6 centimeters dilated just after I got the epidural, so it was not that far for more. They said usually 1 centimeter it takes 1 hour. So it's right now the waiting game begins. Relax, stay in the room, we'll come and check every 1 hour. So the next hour when they came to check, I was already 8 centimeters, 8 or 9, like I was already 9 centimeters dilated, which is good. That means the baby's coming fast. And then another 45 minutes ish, I told Antoine, okay, can you go and check? Can you tell them that I come and check? I think she's coming. So when they come and checked, I was fully dilated at 10 centimeters, and they said, okay, if you want, we can wait a little more, like maybe 1 hour, then you don't have to do anything. You sneeze, the baby will come out. I was so happy to hear that. So yes, she was really good. Coming out really well. Then another like 15 minutes, I called them again. I said, okay, I'm ready to push, it's okay, I think she's coming out. Let's do it, let's start labor. It was not a fast night in the hospital. I think it was only one more person giving birth at that point, so I had a lot of support, and she came right in and she wanted to she prepared everything. She said, okay, no problem, let's start pushing. Now, as I said, I watched a lot of YouTube videos on the internet, right? So I saw different positions to give birth, and I thought, okay, I want to give birth in like a, I'll put a picture here, this kind of a position, okay, like a sideways position. They said, okay, no problem, let's push that way. So once the contraction is coming, I had to push. So she guided me. We tried 2 times in that position, and it was not very progressive. She said, okay, let's try the conventional way, and if it's still bad, let's go back to your way. Experience, I think you can push it in a conventional way, it might give you more strength. I said, all right. So we went back to the normal conventional way, legs up like that, coming out like that. So you just have to go up a little and then you push. So then it went really easily and really fast. So I think I pushed 3 more times or 4 more times. 4th time she was already out. So it was fairly fast. So the labor itself, I think Antoine said it lasted around 2 hours. Concept of time for me was really, I didn't understand at that point because everything's happening everywhere. So yeah, they put her in my chest. So we both didn't want to cut the umbilical cord. As I said before, the birth experience kind of freaked us out. So yeah, none of us did it. They cut it, and they put her on me. They asked, do you want her to be here for a while, or you want us to change and come back? And we both said, okay, no, let's have her on us for a while, for us to bond skin to skin. That's exactly what we did. I don't remember feeling emotional or anything. I was feeling relieved. She was crying, so I was feeling relieved. I just wanted to make sure that she's healthy. That's all I wanted to see. They were saying, okay, it's everything went perfectly, and it did. And I was smiling all the time as well. So yeah, it was good. Then they took her away to change and clean and all that. During that, I had to push more in order for the bag, the entire thing where the baby was, to come out. So we did that kind of a push, and she put it out, and it was quite disgusting. And well, that was normal procedure. So yeah, it was a normal birth. I did have a natural tear, and I had four stitches in 3 different places, but it was they said it was nothing. So then what happened, all I remembered was I was tired. I still haven't had anything. The donut I had, but that's all. I was tired, I was hungry, I didn't have a lot of energy, but the birth was good, and they changed the baby, and they brought the baby here, and I was holding her the entire time. Then they moved us, me and baby, to our room from the delivery room. I was holding her, that's it. We went to the room, she was there, and we just rested. And it was around 9 o'clock at night. We were already in the room and ready to sleep. So 11 in the morning came to the hospital, and we were already gave birth, and everything was done by 9 9:30 at night. That's it. So was it painful? Yes, the contractions were really painful. Did I have the epidural? Yes, I did, and it was God's given. I loved the epidural. Next time if I'm giving birth, I will definitely take that epidural, do this exactly the way I did right now. Natural birth, yes, there's no complications at all. In France, unless you have a complications, you don't go for a C-section, or the baby doesn't come out at all after the due date, after week 41, I think. Then they will do a C-section. If not, they will not. Even before the C-section, then they will try to induce the baby. But for me, she came 2.5 weeks early, so yeah, everything was natural and, well, perfect. It was good. So I was bleeding, it was hurting slightly, not so much. I didn't have a lot of pain down there either, even though there were stitches and all that. So they were regularly checking up on the healing of the stitches, and it was healing quite fast. Baby was healthy, I was healthy, everything was perfectly perfect, and it was a smooth experience. We stayed at the hospital for 4 more days. I gave birth on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 4 days we were at the hospital. They were helping out with everything. They taught us how to give her the first bath, how to clean the belly button thing. Well, they were helping with the breast milk and everything. I had some problems. I will do another video on breast milk anyway. Then we met with the doctor, the pediatrician for the baby. So everything was cleared out and we left the hospital on Sunday. Well, that's about it. If you have more questions, I know I went very fast, maybe not. But if you have any questions, comment down below. I'm more than happy to answer. I will definitely answer everything. Also, let me know if you want me to do a breastfeeding after birth kind of a video as well, because I have a lot of things to say on that as well. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe so that I can keep on making more videos.
Decided to wake up.